Hi, I'm Danny from the Glittered Rose. I have a little bit of a different project for me today to share with you, and that's because it's from a challenge from my Glittered Roses group on Facebook. So we've got two challenges that run every month. We've got our main challenge, and for January it was flags, and we've got a new challenge, which is a mini challenge that Diane has set up. Thanks, Diane. And this month it was step outside your comfort zone. And boy, do I do that with brights. I don't do brights. I don't feel comfortable with brights, but it seems like I'm not alone because there's been a few entries with brights. So um, I really actually enjoyed doing the brights. For those that are new to my channel, I make my own art journals. So this is in my larger, nearly A5 art journal. I really enjoy this size, and I also make my own collage sheets. So I made a bright sheet to go with this this challenge. Um, so the top right, I made Barbie from the 1980s and 1990s, my era. There's nothing really brighter than Barbie from that era. I love the monkey, and that woman I think is just gorgeous. I bought a set of acrylic inks from Kmart when I saw them. I knew I had to grab them for this challenge. So stick around if you're interested to see how that goes. I'm going to pop the collage sheet in my Ko-fi shop. If you're interested, my Ko-fi shop runs on a subscription model. So for $5 Australian a month, you get access to, I think there's 20 or 21 collage sheets, but it's growing every week. Available in A4 and letter size, plus all the individual images you can download individually, and you can print them off as large or small as you want. And there's no extra fingers, no extra hands, and they're all really high quality. You'll really love what you can do with them. Okay, so we're going to work with this collage sheet, and I think we'll work with the African lady. I just think she's so beautiful. How can we not? And I'm going to work in this size journal. It's a little under A5, but yeah, I love working in that size. A reason I make my own journals is because I was tired of, trying to find journals that work for me. I was having trouble with, the art journals that I could find in Australia at least, and this crappy paper that came in the art journals, and them bending and not taking wet media, and I love being able to rip out the pages in my journals and just being able to pop them back in. Um, so I've just got a couple of All in Create stamps. These are sort of birdie stamps, but um, I think by the time they're stamped, I'm not going to be able to see what they are too well. So just going to get the idea of them. And as I'm stamping them onto watercolor paper, that watercolor paper is going to really soak up the ink. So I'm going to stamp it 3 times. I'm just popping it into a MISTI and stamping it 3 times. I'm just using a embossing ink pad. I just find 3 times is sort of a good number. Otherwise, um, sometimes there isn't enough ink on the top of the surface of the paper. Didn't realize that the magnet was sort of catching at the top there, so I'll just do it again for good measure, just to make sure. And you don't need a MISTI. If you're in Australia, um, Craft Online has a really good alternative. I think I saw it's on sale today for $20 or yesterday. They work just as well. Misties certainly don't have the best ethical business practices either. So make sure you shop around. And I certainly don't recommend the Tim Holtz ones. I have used I actually have a review in my channel. I'll see if I can link it. I have used the cheapie from Craft Online. It's really good. Just tap it off, don't flick it off. A lot of people flick the embossing powder off, but that just flicks off the powder off your paper. I don't understand it. When you're heat embossing watercolor paper, you need to be really careful because watercolor paper can burn very, very easily. Yep, I've just spilt my embossing powder every time. All right, you don't need to see me heat emboss this. Just make sure that you keep your heat tool moving and preheat your heat tool before you heat your embossing powder. All right, I'll be back. So I've been meaning to get to the art store to get some brightly colored inks, but I'd been putting it off, and I think I'd been putting it off because I was meant to find these inks. So there was a packet of 6 from Kmart for a whole $12. My beloved Liquitex inks are about 25.50 each from the art store. And while I love them, there's a big difference between $2 a bottle and 25.50. So I think I'd rather pay $2 a bottle, especially for, bright inks that I won't use very often. So I'm going to do a resist technique or try it. I haven't done anything like this before. So we'll see how we go. I'm watering them down because I don't know how pigmenty they are. And I can see straight up they're not as pigmenty as Liquitex. You have to water down Liquitex quite a bit. So I'm thinking with this, I want to layer, I want to have a layered sort of a look. So I want to dry between layers so I can get it quite sort of splotchy and see layers building up. But it will have the stamped resist underneath it, so you can see that resist effect underneath. And it'll sort of come to life as the layers get built on top. Colors are pretty. I like this pink. Put a little bit less water in this time. You can see that resist coming through already. I'm not sure if the camera's picking it up yet. I really don't have a lot of supplies with bright colors. I'm kind of hoping I will come to the conclusion that brights aren't for me after this. Okay, I've reached for the purple now. Just dry that off a bit more. Just, they're a permanent pigment, so I don't really want them to blend too much. I don't mind if they're a little bit damp, but I don't want too much blending. Oh, that's a nice purple. They are nice, but they are not nearly as pigmented. They're a lot more runny than than Liquitex. They're probably a lot more sort of watercolory. It's nice. You can see the shape of the flower coming up in the top right-hand corner. I'm going to do a little bit more layers and then I'll be back. Okay, I'm going to introduce some blue now. I think blue would be nice because there's some blue in the focal image. I've done a few more layers of the purple. Some blue. Oh, that blue's nice. I think the colours are nice. Be nice if Kmart popped out another set of colours. Maybe some neutrals. It's looking a bit flat to me, so I'm going to try something that I might wholeheartedly regret. And I've grabbed out my black Liquitex and I'm going to put some black in there. And yep, I like that. That's making the white areas really pop. And yeah, I like that. It's interesting. So the Liquitex, you need to shake the pigments and mix them up, whereas the Kmarts, you don't. So I find that interesting. Makes you think that there's not that much pigments there to shake. This is looking more like me. So I wonder if it was just too bright for my eye and I needed to tone it down, or if all the white space was just too much. I wonder what Diane will think. Because she likes the bright stuff. Wonder if she'll think I've chickened out by adding the black. I'll just give this a dry off. Okay, let's not waste the rest of this black and do a bit more dippy dippy. It's interesting feeling all the texture that's there. All right, I'm going to clean up this mess. Let's see how they go just dipping them on, because I'm very used to how Liquitex go using them this way. Ah, yep. Really not a lot of pigments. Yeah. Okay, I can't see much point. I'll try the purple. They're not going to go really over what's already there, so I can't see much point using them that way now. I'd still like to try and get a bit more colour into this background. So while I'm drying this off, I'm going to pop my thinking cap on. I'm going to introduce some colour using some distressed crayons. Let's see if that will go over. Oh, yep, that's working. I'm just going to do some scribbly marks in some of these white areas. Just add a bit more colour. Because I think some of this ink's a little bit wishy-washy for my liking. So I think that's looking pretty cool. The background's looking really interesting. It's sort of not really, I couldn't, if I looked at it, I wouldn't be able to pinpoint how it was done. Sometimes my printer amazes me how vibrant it prints. I'm not really going in with any plan, believe it or not. I'm just filling in some areas and just having fun. Sometimes it feels good to be in kindergarten again. I think I'm pretty much finished scribbling. I've just glued her down and now I'm just going around the edges with some black. Well, it's not overly obvious. I think it just does frame her a little bit and just brings your eye into the center. It's just little details that just helps finish it. Whoops. Sometimes you need to be careful with these crowns. It sort of catches. Let's pop a saying on her, and I think shine like the stars is nice. She looks pretty shiny. And I'm going to pop a star on to match that. I just heat up my heat gun. Pop a bit of glue on. Oh, bit of glue just went under my nail. Of course it would. Ouch. All right, I'm gonna go clean up my desk and area, and we'll pop it in my art journal, and I'll give you a close look. Check this out. It missed my art journal page. How lucky was that? Slow-moed it. Okay, so I've popped her in my book. I thought she was finished, but she's not. So I've decided now, I'm gonna pop a little bit of rock candy, which is basically just really fine glitter on the lower part of her. So I'm just brushing on a fine dusting or a fine spread of collage medium on the bottom half of her um, of the image, and I'll partly dry her until she's tacky and sprinkle the rock candy on. And that's just going to give her a little bit of texture and a bit of interest. And you'll see what I mean when it's done. So I'll give her a part dry off, bring you in a little bit closer. So it'll be a little bit rocky. So when you feel it, it's just a bit sort of sticky, a bit tacky. You just open the glitter. So I don't want it on her face. The rock candy will look less obvious also when this collage medium is dry. So to seal it, I'm going to go over it a little bit when with more collage medium. Excuse my arm in front of the shot. Probably seeming a little bit pedantic about the placement of this glitter, but I need to live with it in my art journal forever. So I don't want it too heavy. I just want a sprinkling. I'm just sealing it down now. All right, I'm going to give that a dry off and then on to the next step. That's looking really good, but I want to pop a bit of a glaze of collage medium over the top half because you can really see the bottom half has been glazed. So I'm just going to even it up and dry that off. So I'm just going to brush on a little bit over the top. I think it's coming along really well. Okay, I'm going to dry this off and then I'll be back. Silly me thought she was finished before. So now I've just grabbed out my Sibylla wall and I'm just framing her. She just needs to be framed. So I'm just going to run around the edges and then I'll run around with a paintbrush just to soften it and sort of make it a little bit grungy. This just draws your eye again into the center. Pushes that background into the background. All right, I'm going to finish up here and then we might take a close look and call it done. Hopefully. And we're finished. I have to say, I'm really happy. Thanks go out to Diane for the new challenge. I found it challenging, but I think I've created something pretty cool. I love it. And I love the new collage sheet. Again, if you want to get your hands on the collage sheet, it's in my Ko-fi shop. It's a real bargain. Check it out. Um, If you would like to join our challenge, we would love it. There's only a couple more days left of January, so be quick. The link for the glitter roses is in the description box, and again, this is the collage sheet available in my Ko-fi shop for just $5 a month, and there's 20 other collage sheets, and you get access to all the individual images. So a great deal. So be sure to check me out. Thanks to everybody who's stuck around for the whole video. Let me know in the comment section which image is your favorite. I think she's definitely my favorite, but I do have a soft spot for that monkey. This was my last video. All right, thanks so much for watching. Till next time. Bye for now.